Welcome to the Wrestling Council. I'm your host with the most, HW baby. And due to a slight medical emergency, comic book Bob will be joining us a little bit late. So you get to partake in solo session from HW baby. So uh, we'll, I'll do the best I can on this spooky day, Halloween. Happy Halloween to everybody out there. It's that time of the year, ghosts and goblins, and Bob is okay. Just had a little family emergency, so he told me to go ahead and start without him, and he'll hopefully be here in about 15, 20 minutes. So hope it's nothing too serious, but thoughts and prayers to Rob and his family. So a lot going on recently with and then a new thing that developed today with this family. So he's got a lot going on with his aunt and uncle, mom and dad. So we're here for you, buddy. We're here for you. But hey, happy Halloween, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. A lot going on. Throw it out there to you. Please, with it being Halloween, subject for today, it's, hey, what's your favorite scary movie, favorite wrestler? What do you got going on? Let's see who we got here today. We got Big Daddy first in the building. What's up? Leg kick. Hail the Wrestling Council. Thank you. Leg kick. I am on time, doing what I can, man. Madocito. What's up, fellas? Updated ink. I still got one more session to go. When it's done, I'll post some pictures and show about it, but a little bit more work to do. So almost there. One more session. This part, not much there. That was the sorest part of the tattoo. I'm just like, she's going at it. I'm like, my left hand is like, yeah, okay. Let's get through this. Courtney, yeah. Thanks. I appreciate it. I know Bob does too. So thanks, Courtney. Let's hit it up. Forgetting my ticker. Bam. Follow me and CBB on who we got here? We got somebody joining me. Yeah. Johnny B.
Hello. Just us tonight?
Huh?
Just us tonight?
Yeah. So Rob's going to join us a little bit, but he had a fan emergency to come up. He says he's going to be about 15, 20 minutes late.
Okay.
So he's like, run with it and do what you got to do, baby. So hit it off.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
Hello.
What's up?
What's up?
By the way, my power keeps going out because the power lines can handle all the ACs and fans in this time of the year. So if I get cut off mid-sentence and disappears, just the power went out.
Yeah. But Rob's had a lot going on with his mom and dad, with surgery, stuff like that coming up soon, and then other family members, aunt and uncle. It's a lot going on with him right now. So hopefully he'll be able to join us tonight. But our subject today is, I want everybody to hit some stuff up there. Favorite scary movie, favorite wrestler with just trick or treat. It's trick or treat day today. It's Halloween. So what's your favorite scary movie? What's your favorite wrestler, scary wrestler? What is your favorite Halloween Havoc? Halloween Havoc, I think it's 37 years old, I think. What's your favorite Halloween Havoc? Johnny, it's also your favorite horror, your favorite comics, your favorite game. Anything to do with Halloween, because only comes once a year.
Yes.
Now,
when it comes to a wrestler, I think Bray Wyatt, like at the cult leader phase, it, I maybe it was just because I was a kid, but it terrified me.
Yeah, him and the Undertaker. I think I'm leaning a little bit more to the Fiend with Bray Wyatt. Maybe with the cult leader with the other guys, Big Red and the other. I can't remember his name now.
Brody Lee,
Braun Strowman in there, Brody Lee, when those guys are all together. I'm not. I wasn't a big fan of the whole Alexa Bliss part with that. The Fiend himself was not bad either. And the Undertaker when he first came out, Survivor Series here in Cleveland, Richfield Coliseum was his debut, and originally called Kane the Undertaker when he came out.
Oh yeah, there's Kane too.
Big Daddy's favorite movie, Hocus Pocus. Yeah, a little comedy there, a little Bette Midler there, and is it Sarah Jessica? No, is it Sarah Jessica Parker?
I don't
Who else is in
remember.
it?
I'll
I think
go.
it was Sarah Jessica Parker.
I'll go with Christopher Lee's Dracula.
Yeah. Now, Courtney, you said Halloween. Are you the original Halloween '78 or the remake 2018? Yeah. You're right on there, Maldacito. The favorite Halloween Havoc match is Eddie versus Ray in '97. I mean, classic match. Mass Wrestler, Maldacito's got Psychosis. And Courtney again with Eddie versus Ray.
We forgot about Danhausen. Can't forget Danhausen.
His new theme he's got going on off Happy Halloween. My favorite horror movie, I agree with Courtney, '78 Halloween. Classic movie.
I'm not very big on slasher, so I don't know much about it.
The Fall of the House of Usher. I think it was. I think Martin Landau was in that one. That scared the crap out of me. That and the It with Tim Curry. Oh, wow, that was good. Yeah. They don't make movies like that anymore. Boris Karloff as Frankenstein and Dracula, Wolfman, Abbott and Costello. Yeah, I mean, you got Vincent Price, you've got Boris Karloff. Some of the greats back there. Any favorite movies for you, Johnny? Or comics or anything?
So between the two Draculas of Christopher Lee's and Bela Lugosi's, I'm not really sure which one I like the most. When it comes to horror comics, anything Junji Ito does. Like Uzumaki, Amigara Fall, his Frankenstein is scary as hell. I'm not a big movie buff.
It's all right. I know you're more of a comic guy yourself.
Yeah.
You know more of the comics. You and Rob know more of that than I would. I'd be like, you can talk to me about something. I'd be like, oh, okay. Whatever you say. Let's like Rob talking about New Japan. He knows more about New Japan than you and I combined. It's like, yeah. Oh, okay, Rob, I agree with you. But we've done this before. Let's do it again. Let's start off with our usual subject: the good, the bad, and the ugly. Got any GBU from the last week that was there, Johnny? Johnny. No, lost Johnny. Right. My GBU. The good. AEW Collision. That was really good. With he's here with Max versus Kenny Omega as the main event on Collision. Banger match. Seeing Roosh come out at the end. Johnny says is with his electricity, so he might be in and out. So he just died on us. Can you hear? We can't hear you, Rob.
There we go. Sorry about that. Apologies to everybody.
Right.
Real life doesn't wait for anybody.
No, it doesn't.
So, but yeah, appreciate that, Big Daddy. Yeah, sometimes we gotta go through trials, man, but we'll make it through it. But, you were saying Omega versus
Omega versus MJF, and then having Roosh come out at the end there, or not. I'm sorry, not that match. He came out in the FTR match or Dax Harwood match.
Yeah,
but Kenny Omega versus MJF. I have no idea what the whole Don Callis thing is. That didn't need to happen at all.
Well, I mean, it's an ongoing story. You know, Callis is like he's hyper focused on Omega. It's going to be like that for a while.
But let the guys wrestle. Just
I agree.
Keep that crappy stuff. You keep that stuff out of there. You don't need it. But that was a banger of a match. Great way to end AEW Collision because there's some other stuff that I'll get into that with my ugly. But my bad would be injury bug for Bryan Danielson again. Orbital bone fracture. He's out for the rest of the year. Possibly going to miss Wrestle Kingdom in January, which he was really looking forward to doing because he's on his last year as a full-time wrestler.
Yeah, so there's 2 months there that we're not going to get with him. Hopefully, they're saying that he's hopeful that he'll be able to go for Wrestle Kingdom. If they do Wrestle Kingdom like they did last year, they split it into 2 days, and they actually had it split by 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wasn't a fan of that, but I mean, it's possible he can make the second day. But yeah, we'll see. But I'm hoping that because it is a fracture, and usually fractures take anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks to fully heal.
Yeah, and he might have to wear like to do the face
mask thing.
Face mask thing, yeah. But
regardless of it, man, I mean, and a lot of people are like, they're coming down on the New Japan guys for working too stiff and everything. I'm like, that's not what happened, man. It didn't happen. And they're thinking it happened during the
Orange Cassidy Okada.
Yeah, but which doesn't make any damn sense. But
who knows?
It happened during this match with Andrade. So
just unfortunate. And my ugly. This last week it's not just WWE, it's AEW. This last week with women's wrestling has not been good. And my real ugly involving all that is the storyline concussion by Candice LeRae with the concussions you've had. Now it's different company with Adam Cole and even other wrestlers, in both promotions getting hurt with head injuries. I don't think there's any place in wrestling for any kind of stupid storyline where somebody storyline for concussion.
Yeah. Well, did they come out and say it was a storyline? Because there were some people saying it was
they said it's a storyline.
Oh, that's freaking stupid. Oh my God! Here's the thing: we know that Triple H is in charge of creative now. That doesn't mean that Vince doesn't have a word to say here and there. And then like I said, I watched Raw this week, and it really felt like two different shows. Man, the first half of the show felt like a Triple H show, and it was actually pretty good. The second half was absolute the drizzling shits, and it felt like a Vince show. So.
And Big Daddy, you've been, more with wrestling than any of us combined. you can shed light on concussions and storylines like that. That's just me. Like, there's no reason whatsoever to introduce that into a storyline. Um, you don't need it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have a squash match against Candice LeRae with Xylee, then do something else. Do it another way. Don't joke around about head injuries. You went away from that with flying headbutt from Chris Benoit to the chair shots that Mick Foley used to take and all that. No more chair shots to the head. No more doing things with the head. And now you're dealing with a stupid concussion storyline.
Yeah. But and I I agree with you. The women's wrestling this week was bad. Yeah, and I guarantee that they're nothing to mess with, man. That's the kind of shit that, like, CTE is a real thing, and it leads to the tragedy, man.
And I don't know, Mark Henry came out and said he does not agree with the storyline either. And he's donating his brain to medical science when he passes away.
Yeah.
Chris Nowinski, former wrestler, is doing a lot of stuff with CTE.
Dude, that guy's really done a lot.
But then the other way, Bully Ray said he was in a storyline with a concussion, and he doesn't see anything wrong with you if you do it the right way.
That's Bully Ray. He has a lot of takes that I disagree with, which is cool. It's different opinions and stuff like that. He's more of a he's always been a little bit more of a caustic person. So, but no problem, Johnny. Appreciate it. But yeah, I agree, man. And just with the sentiment of women's wrestling, the women's wrestling lately has been bad. It's been really bad. I'm glad there's certain people that have the belts and stuff, and I'm glad they have it. They haven't been booked well.
All right, candy corn.
Oh, so stupid, man. Look, you know what? Here's the thing: gimmick matches. I get it. It's the holidays. And they did a Halloween match for both companies, and they both sucked.
They did.
I like that people are in it, but it's like,
and the 4-way women's match on Rampage for Abaddon to have the shot against Hikaru Shida. That 4-way match was awful.
No, and here's the thing: I like Abaddon. I think Abaddon's got a great gimmick. Even though it's more that ooky spooky shit. So, but Malicito, I will reach through this friggin' camera and I will strangle you to death. Candy corn is Satan. That's Satan's ball sweat congealed into friggin' candy form. Yeah. So that's your GBU. All right, I'll do mine.
My GBU. Quick. Yeah.
So my good, you probably did some of this as well. The wrestling this week, man. I've been watching New Japan, obviously. Best of the Super Juniors tag team tag league is going on right now. You guys know about me. I love New Japan. I love tag team wrestling, bro. So
Johnny was talking about, because your storyline about didn't cut you off there about comic books, scary comic books. He's talking about comics. He's like, I don't know a whole lot about scary movies. I said, Johnny, when you talk about comic books, you and Rob talk about them. I just agree with you. Like, whatever. You guys know more about comic books than I do. And that's like, Johnny, Rob knows more about New Japan than you and I do. Like, when Rob says about New Japan, it's like, okay.
I'm putting it this way, man. If you like tag team wrestling, if you like when the smaller guys are out there and they're just going crazy, this is Nirvana for you guys. So I like the three things I love about New Japan, man. I love the tournaments. They have the best tournaments in professional wrestling, in my opinion, with the best of the Super Juniors, World Tag League. It's awesome. It's good. It's great stuff. So, but that's been good. And then I agree with you, man. I think MJF Omega was probably the best. Probably the best match this week. And actually, MJF had two great matches. Had two really good matches this week. He had his match against Juice Robinson, which was a really good match. It wasn't as good as with Omega, but it was a really good match. And then the match with him and Omega was probably the best match I saw all week. the match between I would say probably next to that would be Danielson versus Andrade until what happened at the end. There was a lot of great there was a lot of great wrestling this week, and it was good to see. And also, really a lot of excitement building around the end of this year with Will Ospreay. He's gone out and he basically got himself the power lawyer. Same guy that negotiated the deals for the NWO back in the day, the guy that negotiated the deals for Kenny and the Bucks, and everybody. I can't remember his name right now, but he is the lawyer, and that dude is. Wherever he goes, Will Ospreay is going to be. There's going to be a spotlight on the guy, and I'm here for it, dude. I'm ready for the world, and I'm ready for everybody to know who this guy is. Hail, Red Dress, hail, Ben. Appreciate you being here.
Yep.
But that's my good. The bad, obviously, the injuries. Brian Danielson being on the shelf for at least 2 months, maybe a little bit longer. Hopefully, he'll be able to come back before then. I know he wants to. He wants that second match with Okada. So, and just the fact that, like I said, the clock is ticking with him. And it's not going to be long before he's no longer a full timer. I mean, we'll still get matches with him, I'm sure, but he's going to start transitioning more to a backstage role. Maybe just like oh, there we go. Let's try this again. That's the way this fits. The way this freaking this day's going, man.
So until the rain season starts, I can't keep any electricity in this farm. I just have to accept it now.
I feel you, bro. I mean, you're out there in the sticks, man. You got to do what you got to do.
Yep.
But we'll keep you. We'll nail you to the wall here and make sure we keep you for the rest of the show. But yeah. So the injury, that injury. I think there was somebody else got injured as well. I can't. I guess it's my brain's taking a crap on me. But that's my bad. The ugly. Besides everything that's happening today, I don't know what the hell's going on with AEW, man. Tony Khan needs. I'm really starting to get Vince vibes from Tony Khan. That seriously, dude. It's almost like he's doing shit intentionally just to piss people off, and people are, and it's like he's going in the exact opposite direction with where he should be with a lot of these matches and stuff like that. Storylines used to be the thing in AEW, like long-term booking, long-term storylines used to be the thing, and now it's like half the shit that's going on doesn't make any sense.
You think he heard like so much criticism that he's just like overcorrecting too much?
I honestly, early going, I would have said yes. Like the early going Tony, like the guy who wasn't in the business for any amount of time. I think he was a lot more receptive to people, saying, "Hey, this isn't working, that's not working." Because remember how many storylines they started and then just dropped because they just weren't working. But now it's like he's doing stuff in spite of what people are saying.
See, and I wonder if Warner Brothers Discovery has any.
I think I think they absolutely have something to do with it. I think he's trying to please multiple masters, and I think it's not working. And he needs to sack up and just be like, "Hey, do what got you to the do what got you to the dance." That's what he needs to do. So whether he's going to do that or not, who knows? But AEW is definitely in a transitory state. I think there's a couple of things he needs to do going forward to really make sure that they get back on track. And one of them is definitely he needs Will Ospreay. He needs Will Ospreay. He needs that fresh blood injected that can really take the ball and run.
I think he needs Will and Mercedes.
Yes. That the other thing too is like he needs to start paying some serious attention to his women's division. His women's division is in a shambles. Okay, it's bad, and women's division across the board, outside of like Impact and a couple other company on the smaller company is not doing well. WWE's women's division is not doing well. AEW's women's division is not doing well. But Tony's has absolutely no direction. Outside of Tony Storm, has absolutely no direction. And I'll be honest with you. AEW right now feels like WWE about 3 years ago. It's not terrible, but it's got some real problems, and he needs to get his head out of his ass. The question is, does he have enough wherewithal to do it?
It's only been around a little over 4 years now, so
Yeah.
growing pains.
I get that, but at the same time, he's been there long enough to understand, how things should be done.
Nope, lost Johnny again.
Yeah, I guess the nail didn't hold, but yeah, it's just from where they were 2 years ago to where they are now. It's exact opposite of what it should have been. But and then additionally for my ugly is just the freaking holiday. The Halloween matches were just awful. I mean, my God, they were bad. The best thing about the Halloween stuff was the costumes that was it Chelsea Green and Piper Niven came out in. They came out as the Hart Foundation. Piper Niven came out. She was dressed as Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and it was friggin' hilarious. That was the best thing about the entire friggin' show.
And friggin' Nikki Cross is head in the table,
dude. What the frickin' hell, man? Are they bringing back Decay? Is that what they're doing?
I don't know.
It's terrible.
Candy corn.
Yeah, apparently candy corn is just as painful as tax now, because it was just stupid. I've never been a fan of the junkie wrestling at all, and this is a big reason why. Both those matches were drizzling shits. But that's my GBU. All right, let's do some more fun. Let's do some fun stuff.
A couple people, because I popped it off at the beginning of the show. Courtney and them were popping off that Eddie versus Ray was a favorite match from Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, that's the standard, man.
Big Daddy's a fan of Hocus Pocus, and Courtney's a fan of Halloween 78.
Halloween Havoc 78.
No, Halloween.
Halloween.
Halloween 78.
Okay, gotcha.
Hocus Pocus for Big Daddy and Halloween 78 for Courtney.
Hocus Pocus, that's a good one. That's actually one that a lot of people don't know about. No problem, Malicito. You guys have a good time. Take care, man. Appreciate you being here.
And Johnny was going back and forth between Bela Lugosi and Christopher Lee with Dracula.
For me, dude, it's got to be Christopher Lee, man. I love Bela Lugosi. Don't get me wrong, man. I was raised on those movies. Him and Boris Karloff. Boris Karloff's Frankenstein is still the greatest.
Yep,
still the greatest. But when it comes to like if you've ever read the book Dracula, I can't remember the short story that I think it was the Guest or whatever it was called. Nobody embodied Dracula like Christopher Lee did. He was like that version, like that was both sexy and terrifying. And I mean, it's Christopher freaking Lee, dude. You can't go wrong with the man. So that's my Dracula though, man. But so one of the things, so basically one of the things we talked about was we're gonna do our favorite Halloween based matches of all time. And of course, like Halloween Havoc there's gonna be a lot of them there. Eddie versus Ray is absolutely 100% the best. You know, I mean, you can't. I mean, it's. I remember watching that thing live, and you and I were talking about this as well. Like thinking about all the guys that WCW had at that time period. and just literally it was like a who's who list of legends.
Yep.
And how WCW screwed up so bad that they went out of business. Just what was it? 3.5 years later? Because it was they went out of business in what, 2000? 2000,
A little bit
2001.
after that.
Yeah, just like less than 5 years later, they went out of business. You know, you've got a freaking murderer's row of talent to pull from, and yeah, it was just one of those things where it was like, I couldn't understand it. But yeah, that's definitely number one in my book. Another one that I was thinking about, I actually had to go back through and look at all the different cards from all the Halloween Havocs. Another great Halloween Havoc match was the Steiner Brothers versus the Nasty Boys.
Yep.
That was I think it was 90 or 91. And this was, basically that match is the match that brought the Nasty Boys to Vince's attention. It's okay, Johnny. Don't worry about, man.
You can move in with Rob, Johnny.
Dylan, nobody dressed up for Halloween. Dude, if you knew the day that we had, man, you'd understand. Trust me, man. I've got a Jason mask back there I could put on if that'd make you happy. Yeah, Bruno was a special ref as well. Yeah. But 89 Thunderdome. Ooh. The 89 Thunderdome. That's pretty good. Hey, Johnny. Poor Johnny. But what happened is after that match, because I knew I wasn't long after that they showed up in WWE, the Nasty Boys. But I looked into it and I didn't know this, but they actually wrestled that match. They weren't under contract. And so that match put them on, like that brought them to Vince's attention, and why WCW didn't have them signed up, I won't understand. But Vince snapped them up and immediately took them away.
Yep.
And that was it. But that was a really, really good match at Halloween Havoc 1990. And then the only other one that I remembered, and again I was going back to the cards and I was like, oh yeah, that one was really good too. Was Cactus Jack versus Big Van Vader, and that was in 1993. And this is when
spin the wheel, make the deal.
Yep, spin the wheel, make the deal. I'm just messing. No, it's cool, dude. Dylan Ellum said, I'm just messing. DDP versus Goldberg and Hogan versus Flair in 94 cage match. Yeah, I remember the Hogan versus Flair cage match. That was a big deal too, because that's when Hogan first got there. So and then DDP versus Goldberg was a big match too. That's probably the first match that, like, DDP, like, because Goldberg was so limited in the ring because he just, he was so green and he just didn't know, he was so new. So DDP took the reins in that match and really turned it into something. But that Cactus Jack match, that's about the time as well. It wasn't long after that he showed up in WWE. And so again, it was like, these guys that were going through and basically so these matches that kind of like put them on the map and made people recognize who they were and built them up. Honorable mention: Mysterio versus Malenko. Yeah, I actually didn't remember that match until I was going back through and looking at all the different cards on Halloween Havoc. But
I was looking through that. I didn't remember it was Doom versus Ric Flair and Arn Anderson.
Yep. The Soul Brothers Doom. They were still with were they with Teddy Long at that point, or were they still with Sherry? Did they still have the masks on?
No, I didn't have the mask on.
Okay, then that was after Sherry then. Yeah, Pillman versus Luger. Yeah, Pillman versus Luger was, there was a lot of really good solid like you said, solid matches. Was it Sting and Flair going back, and because this was part of the when right after Flair had his matches with Steamboat, and he started that feud with Terry Funk. It was Sting and Ric Flair teaming up against Terry Funk and the Great Muta. That was another really good one. And like you said, San Martino was the guest referee. I remember, and because I'd forgotten about that, and I was like, oh shit, I remember that. So that was really good. And then of course, like Muta's I was talking to Frank. Muta's a weird character to begin with, man. I was at the DDP versus Flair at the Tomoka Dome. It was a Howling Fan. Oh, nice, man. That's cool. Yeah, I never got a chance to go to I've only been to two. I only went to 2 WCW pay-per-views back then. Yeah, but like you said, then there was Diamond Dallas Page versus Goldberg. That was like I said, man, that Goldberg owes Page a big debt of gratitude for making him look good in that match, because he needed it at that time. He was so over and crazy, but he had 3 moves. But but then of course, it's like Eddie versus Ray, Halloween Havoc 97. Yep. That match, dude, that's one of the greatest matches, period. Just period across the board. So, but yeah, so that's as far as Halloween Havoc's concerned, those are the matches that I think really stand out. I was also at WW's first W7 Invasion with Booker T. Cool. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, dude, it's I've been to a lot of stuff, but it was mostly house shows and TV tapings and stuff like that. I've only been to a few pay-per-views, but hopefully we get to go to another one here if indeed Cleveland is the home for
SummerSlam 2024. It's possible.
Keep your fingers crossed. We might be able to do a broadcast from there. But so we were also talking. So horror themed wrestlers. There's been a lot of them. There's been a ton of them.
Yeah.
And Big Ed said Wyndham and Dustin versus Williams and Stunning Steve was a good as far as tag team matches go. Halloween Havoc. Yeah, Steve Austin had a couple of good matches there. I think he had I think he had one with him and Flair as well. So yeah, Austin's always been a good wrestler, man. It was just it took a long time for them to find that one that just shot him into the stratosphere.
Yep.
But obviously, getting back to what we're saying, obviously the greatest horror themed wrestler of all time is going to be The Undertaker. I mean, it's the freaking Undertaker. Come on. Literally the character's based off of Jason Voorhees.
Johnny's was Bray Wyatt.
Why? Actually, when I was looking online, like I said, because I was researching this, because there's been ones
with this cult. Yeah.
There's been a bunch that I've forgotten about, but all of the different incarnations of Wyatt. I mean, you can look at because the one was basically a cult leader. Then the Fiend was basically like he was demon possessed or something like that. So, those guys are up there, but the one that I was talking about was Kevin Sullivan back in the day, with and I'm talking I'm actually talking before the Dungeon of Doom or the Varsity. I'm talking back when it was him and Nancy Benoit, who later on who was originally she was they called her the Dark Angel or whatnot, but that character. That Kevin Sullivan was playing was supposed to be like a Satanist. He was like a devil worshiper. So, which is funny because he's like the biggest Christian that ever lived. So, but Lord Humongous. Oh, I forgot about him actually. Yeah, Sullivan Hayes. Yeah. Back when they were called like the Ministry of Darkness or something like that. Yeah, that Kevin, and I remember some of the promos he would just go off on these weird, almost like Ultimate Warrior level tangents, but he'd just be talking about reading the magic words of Thra, blah, 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 blah. But it was like that was his character back then, and that was like it was a horror based character. And then you had characters like Abyss. I'm trying to remember all. God, there's been so many of them, but
come on, it's all about the Yeti, Ron Reese.
Oh, we'll get into like all the friggin' bad ones. Like there's a lot of bad ones. The one that I thought about, another one I thought about was the Brood with Gangrel, Edge, Christian. There was like two different versions of them though. There was the one with the Hardy Boys, which was the original version, and then there was the then there was the Edge and Christian version. Then we also talked about, but then we talked about the original Doink the Clown.
Yeah.
The original Doink the Clown was supposed to be a creepy killer clown. He was supposed to be scary. And he had the best entrance music, dude. It was that weird, din, 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 but it was all like weird and twisted, and you could actually hear screams in it. Like that would have been if they had really pulled the friggin' trigger, on that character, dude. That character could have been something special, but of course, just like everything else, if anybody starts to like him, well, we gotta turn him face, so he's just a regular clown. But like that's just stupid.
Matt Bourne sort of ruined that for himself too.
Yeah. Someone and then I said, we were talking, and then I said, Mankind. That's also another kind of like horror based character, but and then we brought up Kane. I was like, here's the thing about Kane though. Without the Undertaker, Kane is he's just another version of the Undertaker.
Yep.
Just doesn't talk. So it's, to me, he's not, I don't put him on the same level as the Undertaker. I love the dude. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Glenn Jacobs is an awesome guy, but to me, he's just not. It's not the same. So I think if you ask me, like the top three, I'd say obviously the Undertaker is number one. I would say, honestly, in my personal opinion, Mankind is number two, and number three would be the Brood. I think those, because those are the best horror based gimmicks, I think, in all professional wrestling. So now the worst ones, we already hit one of them. The Mummy was the Yeti was so bad, man. Oh my God. Abaddon. Yeah. See, in today's wrestling, I don't think that kind of stuff really fits. Unless you're doing something kind of like what Bray Wyatt did. Yeah. Kane. Well, I mentioned Kane. I said, to me, Kane is second fiddle to the Undertaker. So they're kind of like basically the same character, just one doesn't talk, and Kane did eventually become his own thing a little bit. And then, like I said, I love Glenn Jacobs, but he never really clicked as far as like the greatest. Su Young's not a bad one. Oh, and that's the other thing too, man. Like I said, we were talking about Japanese, like weird horror wrestling in Japan is oh my God, dude. And like I was talking about that, I can't remember. My brain has glossed over most of it, but there was that one match where the Kiss. Oh God, the Kiss Demon.
Kiss Demon. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, RoboCop. God, wasn't it? There was that. They even had Rosemary as I didn't care for Rosemary either. I mean, like I said, there's been tons of them, but the two worst. Absolutely 110%. Well, the three worst, in my personal opinion: the Yeti, the Mummy, which was just as bad, and Oogie Spoogie Alexa Bliss. I swear to God, I wanted to burn the place down every time that character came out. And yes, I understand that there's probably worse characters that have been out there. Okay. Like I said, you're naming a bunch of them right now. But for God's sake, at a time when you didn't need that kind of shit, that character was so stupid. It was so stupid. First of all, you friggin' submarine Bray Wyatt for that. You cut Bray Wyatt off at the knees for Oogie Spoogie doll carrying Alexa Bliss.
Don't say anything bad about Lily.
Oh, fuck Lily. Dude, I swear to God, I hated that. Oh my God. I hated that so much. That's one of the things that made me just literally dread watching WWE. I was like, I swear to God, if I watch it, and then having people who should have been getting legitimate pushes like Shayna Baszler having to act like they're scared of a freaking doll. It's so dumb. Oh God. I mean, dude, you think about that time period. WWE did a lot of like horror-based stuff that was just really stupid. The zombie match with Miz, where Miz got eaten by zombies. It's like, what the freaking hell, man? Oh my God. I love horror. I love The Undertaker. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. And I think you can do characters like Bray Wyatt, the original version of Bray Wyatt, the cult leader Bray Wyatt, I think was fantastic. Vince didn't know what the hell he had with that character. But a lot of this supernatural stuff, I'm just like, dude, I'm over it. I'm done. I'm not 8 years old anymore. I don't, it just, in my personal opinion, it just doesn't work.
Vampiro was terrible.
Dude, he got really popular, but I was like, dude, I just don't like this guy. It was just, in the ring, he was decent. He was okay in the ring. Just the gimmick was kind of dumb, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But then he came around about the same time that I was starting to get older, and I'm like going, this is kind of stupid. But yeah, as far as wrestling gimmicks are concerned, man, like it's the Undertaker, and it's everybody else, And even that character had to go through different incarnations because it started getting stupid and old too. All the magic mystical stuff.
Biker Taker.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Big Daddy, especially today. Like back in the day when wrestling was there was a lot more pageantry in wrestling. And it was carny. It was a lot more carny than it is now. I feel like, you could do some of that kind of stuff back then. Today, I agree with you. I don't think it works. And if it does, it's very rare and it doesn't last long.
Yeah, like you didn't even remember Danny Spivey as Waylon Mercy.
Dude, that completely glossed over, man. And I like Dan Spivey. I like Dan Spivey, dude. But I completely glossed over that character, man. Didn't even remember him at all, which isn't surprising because I don't think he was around very long. But no. Yeah, it's horror movies and whatnot have kind of they've been a big part of wrestling.
Yeah, and you got Papa Shango out there with his stuff.
God.
You got the Boogeyman with his clock, and
dude, the Boogie, like the three gimmicks that I really think they could have done something if they'd really gone in on them was Doink the Clown. I think they could really, really, really have done something with Doink the Clown. Bray Wyatt, obviously, like the cult leader version of Bray Wyatt. In my opinion, is the best version of Bray Wyatt. I didn't really care about the Fiend, but not Taker's original iteration today. It was too much. Yeah, like I said, back when the Undertaker was first introduced, that's when professional wrestling, still had a lot of that carny feel to it. It had a lot of that pageantry to it, that character pageantry to it. It doesn't work today.
I liked Undertaker when he first came out at Survivor Series in Cleveland.
Yeah.
With his gray and purple outfit and long tie and long hair and hat and just the makeup he had.
He had a cool look, man. He had a really cool look. But it was also it doesn't hurt the fact that the guy was a really, really, really good wrestler. That doesn't hurt at all. But yeah, today I say the Undertaker is the greatest character in professional wrestling, and one that you could not duplicate.
Nope.
But yeah, so those are like I said, there were a few times I think it could have really worked. They kind of dropped the ball on it, and really, if you look at all these other supernatural characters that came after the Undertaker, that was just that everybody trying to recreate the Undertaker. Every single one of them, which I don't know how you get put poor Giant Gonzalez in a freaking Yeti costume. That was so bad.
I wasn't. It was actually Ron Reese. I looked it up.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
What was the version that Giant Gonzalez was in?
I don't know.
That bodysuit must have been the most embarrassing thing in the friggin' entire world.
That was when you looked like freaking Bigfoot or some crap.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
It looks awful.
It was so bad.
So is Tony Khan supposed to make some big announcement tomorrow?
I think so. I'd have to double check and look. Like I said, it's been a hell of a day. I haven't really been able to go do much research. And they tried with Brian Lee. Yeah. And they're trying again right now. They're trying to do kind of a low key Bray Wyatt thing with that dude in NXT who escapes my mind right now. And what's his name? What's his name in NXT is not bad. Joe Gacy. They're trying to do kind of a low key Bray Wyatt thing with Joe Gacy, where he's kind of like a cultish kind of character. And he's not terrible, but he's not Bray Wyatt. He doesn't have that creativity. He doesn't have the look. I don't like Bray was kind of intimidating. So, but you're not going to be able to recreate that. But anyway, we do have a little bit of time left, so let's talk some. We're going to talk some horror movies, man. Do our top 3 best horror movies of all time, and then I'll do like a top 3 best horror comics of all time. So, my top 3 horror movies of all time. I'm an old school guy. Halloween is the movie that I feel like really the original Halloween. It started the slasher genre, and I love John Carpenter. I think the guy's amazing. And matter of fact, 2 of my favorites are from him. So Halloween #1, that's one of my favorites. The Thing, dude, best science fiction horror film of all time. Best science fiction film of all time. And anybody, I'll fight anybody who says otherwise. And then my third movie, and this is kind of a weird film, is Exorcist 3. And the reason why, because the thing is, The Exorcist 3 is actually 2 movies in one. The entire first like hour and 30 minutes it's a supernatural mystery. And it's got one of the best scenes in a horror movie ever, man. Because with me, movies that what I find scary is not jump scares and stuff like that, or gore and stuff like that. It's atmospheric stuff. It's stuff that 2 weeks later, after you watch the movie, you're by yourself, you're doing something, you hear a noise, and then immediately that thought just pops back into your head. So, and there's a scene in Exorcist 3 where he's at the Archdiocese, where the main detective, the detective Kimball, is at the Archdiocese doing an investigation. He hears a noise down the hallway. And he looks down the hallway, and from his perspective, he looked down the hallway, it's just a dark hallway. But then the camera pulls away, and it shows you the perspective at the end of the hallway, looking at him. And off on the side, slightly out of focus, is a statue of one of the saints, but it's been defaced. Because at the beginning of the movie, there's this issue. This guy walks into the church, and he finds a statue of Mary that's been desecrated. Well, that statue at the end of the hallway has been desecrated as well, and it looks like an evil demonic, like it looks like the Joker, like an evil demonic version of the Joker. And the whole idea behind that scene is that even though he can't see it, evil is just right around the corner waiting. It's such a good scene, man. It's an awesome scene. So those are my 3 favorite horror movies of all time. What do you got, Frank?
Halloween,
Yep. Love
the
it. Dude,
original
it's so good,
78.
man.
It with Tim Curry.
I love that movie. Dude, I love Tim Curry, period.
God, that movie was good. I said it before the beginning of the show, but that movie scared the shit out of me.
Dude, he's such a good actor too, man. Tim Curry is like, there was a show, we talked about this actually. There was a show called Homicide, and there was another show, I can't remember the name of it, but they did a 2-part episode, and Tim Curry was the villain in it, and he was this serial killer in Los Angeles during the blackouts. He would attack people during the blackouts. And Tim Curry, like, he has history of being playing these very suave, very elegant characters like that. He played a scummy, nasty, just dude. He had rotting teeth. It was like, the dude was just so freaking good, man. But,
And The Fall of the House of Usher with Vincent Price. That one and the 79 one with Martin Landau, either one of those.
Yeah.
Were good.
Vincent Price, dude. I actually went down a deep hole with Vincent Price recently, and using Tubi. Dude, Tubi's the best. You want to watch old movies and stuff, like old TV shows and stuff like that. Tubi's the best. But I watched The Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price, which is the same story as Omega Man. But that movie, dude, Vincent Price was awesome. I love that dude. So horror comics, number 1 has to be Evil Ernie for me. Evil Ernie, Chaos Comics. Basically, if you were into metal music, man, that was the horror book for you, man. It was basically taking Freddy Krueger and combining it with metal music. That gave us, and then from that, like Brian Pulido and Stephen Hughes, man, they just launched an empire. They created the most bad girl of bad girls, man. Lady Death, super hot, sexy, all the cool stuff from back in the 80s and 90s in the comics, man. It was ultra violent. It was fun, hot women, badass dudes. Evil Ernie was awesome, man. And like I said, they gave us all these cool characters. And as a matter of fact, that image of the Undertaker that you saw on the thumbnail, that's actually from a Chaos comic that WWE commissioned, made a deal with Chaos, and they put out an Undertaker comic book miniseries. They had an Undertaker comic book miniseries, and they also had a Mankind series, and I think they had a Kane series as well. So, like I said, horror and wrestling have been together for a long time. So, yeah, definitely that. Probably next to that one would be Tomb of Dracula, like all the way back in the 60s, all the way to the newer version they did in the late 80s, early 90s. Some of the greatest artists in comic books you ever saw worked on those books. It almost feels like reading a Christopher Lee Hammer horror film. So that was one of the I did a deep dive on that a couple of years ago. I can't remember the name of the artist now, but I was following him, and he did a huge run on Tomb of Dracula, and his artwork. You compare the artwork that they did back then to this dog shit that they're putting out now. It's amazing, man. Like to do one of the backgrounds of this guy's friggin' work would take me, and I'm a comic book. I do a lot of comic book art and stuff. It would take me a month to draw one page of what this guy was doing on a freaking monthly basis. He's knocking out 20, 25 pages of this stuff. So those guys they were amazing. They were true artists. And then probably one of the better recent ones is From Hell, which was about Jack the Ripper, and that's the book that they based that movie From Hell with Johnny Depp off of. So those are my horror comics. I don't know how many horror comics you're really aware of, though.
Not really.
Like you said, you don't really read a lot of them, but There's
So
some good
the
stuff out there,
comics,
man.
comics are you and Johnny.
Yeah, but yeah, man. There's a lot of. I mean, it's like I said, it's Halloween. I know. I'm hoping that, and I hope that everybody had a good season. I hope anybody that has kids, hope they had fun. Like I said, this episode was a little crazy and a little wonky because of real life getting in the way. But this is my favorite time of the year, man. Halloween, Thanksgiving. Not a big Christmas guy.
I am.
I know you are. Yeah, and my family is too.
I see they got the tree up already.
Oh my God. My mother made me pull that thing out 3 weeks ago. Dude. I'm like, and this is when she was like I said, she's going in 2 days from now for her freaking surgery. Thank you, God. Oh, so this shit'll be over soon. But yeah, she made me go down and drag the tree out 3 weeks ago. I'm like, Christmas isn't for 3 months. I need it out now. It's like as soon as you smell the pumpkin spice in the air, dude, Christmas stuff's right around the corner, dude. But I just like Thanksgiving better, man. Thanksgiving's just about getting together with your family and everything. So and Christmas is too, but I don't know. A lot of dumb shit has ruined Christmas for me, but I don't want to ruin that for everybody else.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah, best music. Hey, I love Christmas music. Like I said, this is my favorite time of the year, man. But yep, the holidays, like I said, the holidays are when people get together and they just have fun and kind of put away some of the bullshit. So hopefully that's what is waiting for everyone. But I appreciate it. Everybody was here. Leg kick, Big Daddy, Johnny.
In and out.
In and out, man. I was hoping you'd be able to stay, but I understand, brother. Just take care of yourself. Red Dress Press, Dylan Elam, Maldacito, Courtney, everybody else that I'm missing and forgetting. Appreciate you guys all being here. I hope you guys have a safe and happy holiday. Like I said, hope the little ones had a lot of fun doing their trick-or-treating.
Got a lot of candy.
So and we'll get back to the normal wrestling.
So the parents can be like, oh my God, my kids.
Yeah. Got to do the candy tax. 10% of everything you get is mine. I bought that costume, kid. You got to pay for it.
Let's see.
But
those are mine. Those are yours. The cherry picking.
All the good stuff is over here. All the stuff you can have is right here because all you care about is sugar anyway. But thanks for hanging out, guys. We appreciate it. I hope you have a good night. And we'll see you next week with more regular wrestling. Take care, everybody.